Hello everybody, it's Philly Kuts with another comic book haul. We may have found a winner for the naming my comic book haul contest. This is going to be the last week that you could post to try to name my comic book haul, which is on every Wednesday, the day that comics come out. I'm going to be giving away to the winner Hellraiser, The Road Below. It's a one-shot graphic novel trade. Kirsty Cotton becomes a Cenobite. This is her first mission as a Cenobite. Her job is to drag souls back to hell. She's having difficulties, people. Having a lot of trouble with it. Double A, in my last comic book haul, commented, he said he's throwing up a three-pointer at the buzzer, and he came up with Hump Day Haul with Kuts. And I really like that. I don't know if I'll do with Kuts, but I like just the Hump Day Haul. Hump Day Haul. Hump Day Haul with Kuts. Hump Day Haul number 22 with the Kuts. I don't know, that might work. I like the way it flows off my tongue. So unless anyone can best that, Double A is the front runner right now for naming my comic book haul. All you have to do is comment, come up with a name. I like the Hump Day, not only because of the way it sounds, but because Hump Day is an important day for me. I work Monday through Friday, so Wednesday, comic book haul day. Wednesday, it marks this. It signifies for me that I am over the hump, literally, and I just got to get through Thursday and Friday, and then I have the weekend to read the comics that I buy. So I got a nice stack this week, about 10 comics. Let's get started. I only got one comic from the major publishers, so to speak. I got one from DC. Harley Quinn cover, Batman Superman number 19. Look at that, and she's on the red carpet with a retro Batman television series, Batmobile. And I gotta tell you, man, these Harley Quinn covers, these variant covers that are coming out all month this February have been awesome. And I've been tested. Like, I thought that the month when we had all the Darwin Cook variant covers that I was being tested, but with these Harley Quinn ones, oh my god. I was this close to buying Batgirl because of the Harley Quinn variant cover, and I said I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to start buying comics just for covers. I can't do it. I don't want to go down that road, and I can't go down that rabbit hole, people. My wallet can't afford it. So, but the Batgirl, the latest Batgirl cover is awesome. Alright, this is like, I don't know, like precursor to the Convergence event or something. Brainiac basically shrunk the lost city of Kandor on Kryptonite. It's a lost city. He shrunk this thing, and now the city basically fits into like a paperweight like jar. And basically this is a story arc where we are learning who is going to be revealed as Superman's Joker. So there's this dude, or woman, who knows, because we don't know yet, who has been terrorizing Superman. And he's been killing people and harming people that are close to Superman. In the last issue, Batman got injured by this person, and they used a Kandorian bullet. Now, what I mean, Kandorian, as in a citizen of Kandor, miniature-sized, little person, projectile, into Batman. That's how that issue ended, and we resume from here. And we learn in this issue who is Superman's Joker. Now, does Superman need a Joker? Doesn't he have enough villains that are out to get his ass? Lex Luthor, Bizarro. All kinds of peeps are out to get him. So, I don't want to give away any spoilers or anything, but I love the artwork by Adrian Sif. He has a very heavy penciled look. Some people don't like it. I do. Very heavily penciled, very heavily detailed. I'm really, really enjoying the artwork, and Greg Pak is the writer on this. He's done some really good Superman stories as of late. So check it out. I'm enjoying this storyline, but I don't know, you know, this whole convergence event coming up with DC. I don't know. I may add a protest, not even get any issues involved with that. If you don't know, coming in like May or June or something, they're going to shut down all the comics on DC, and they're going to focus in on this convergence event. And then like half the DC 52, new 52 titles are going out the window, and they're bringing in 25 new ones. And they're not going to be known as New 52 anymore. So I talked about it a little bit more in my last issue. Now, this was just a big week for me for independent titles, independent publishers. And Image was the one that got the award for the most books that I got this week. Starting with Bitch Planet, bitches! And this is a special issue. It's the secret origin of Penny Roll, who really is the most baddest of badasses out of all the women I think that have been introduced in this comic so far. I really like Penny Roll. She doesn't take any shit from nobody, and we learn why she became Penny Roll. You know, you learn some things that went on in her life, some things that she had to deal with, racism, growing up in the system, having to conform, try to conform to certain standards of beauty. And that's like a lot of the issues and stuff that they're talking about in this series, which is being billed as, you know, like a feminist comic. And that doesn't scare me away from it. You know, I think that I like hearing about different perspectives and different points of view. And that doesn't scare me like it may. Like, look at this. Here, I outlined this here. Here's a panel where they talk about racism. Penny is working in, like, a bakery, right? And these two dudes start talking about her. Like, here she is. She's, like, right behind the counter preparing muffins. And this guy says, no wonder she's state-sponsored. Christ, look at her. Who wants to come home to that? Skins. They like them big like that. It's in their animal nature. Big asses, big lips. You ever fuck a skin wild? And that's the panel that I'm reading from. Penny Roll's hearing that. She keeps getting pissed and pissed and pissed and keeps pounding and pounding that dough. And I'm not going to tell you what happens, but if you read the last couple issues, you know how Penny gets. Penny gets pretty hostile. So Bitch Planet, I guess every 3 issues or so, they're going to do an origin story. And I think that Bitch Planet number 2 only came out like 2 weeks ago, so I'm not sure if this has become a bi-weekly title or not. I'm not really sure. Okay. Rumble number 3. And this has the all-star staff that is on b.p.r.d. for Dark Horse Comics. We got John Arcudi, who's the creator, the scripter, the writer. James Herron, who is the artist. And Dave Stewart, who does the coloring. And you gotta know who Dave Stewart is. Well, in this issue, we finally learn who the hell is Rathrak, this scarecrow. Where did he come from? What's his deal? Why is he running around trying to kill this fiery demon guy? We finally get some explanation, some exposition in this story, because in the first 2 issues, you're just kind of like dropped in on this story. You don't really know what's going on. I mean, there's some cool things happening, some disturbing things happening. It's kind of like really intense, disturbing stuff mixed with some unique brand of comedy, which is pretty funny. It's kind of like my haul, I think. The artwork is incredible if you're familiar with James Herron, if you're familiar with the coloring of Dave Stewart. I mean, there is just such good stuff in this that you're going to love it. And this issue, it really gets fleshed out, and you really figure out who is Rathrak and what his purpose is, what are his motivations. So that's what's great about this issue. If you haven't checked it out yet, I highly, highly recommend it. It's a title that I'm definitely going to stick with. I'm going to, see how it turns out. And I'm very happy, and I'm very unhappy. Holy shit! I just noticed. Look at this. Look at what happened. I can't get it on camera, but it ripped. I have a rip in my comic. Oh my god, you see it? And it went through like the first 4 pages. Oh my god, I think I'm gonna have to buy another one. Ah, damn it. Son of a bitch. Anyway, there's some really cool monsters too. There's some cool sword fights and stuff. So, if you wanted to figure out who is Rathrak, this is the issue. Alright, onward. Drifter number 4, The Stranger in the Strange Land story by Image Comics. Again, awesome artwork in here. I'm really loving the work of Nick Klein. He's being billed as both the colorist and the inker, penciler. He's doing all the artwork, I guess. Abraham Pollux. Ship crash lands on this freaking planet. He's lost a certain amount of time because he thinks it only happened a couple days ago. He runs into residents on this planet. Goes back to the crash site. Person who's with him says, no, this ship hasn't been here for 2 days. It's been here for 2 years, bro. So he's all screwed up. He doesn't know what's going on. He's in shock. He's trying to figure out who he is. There's a preacher in this story who's committed murder. He's trying to atone for his sins. He's praying to God, waiting to see what's going to happen to him. That's a really interesting subplot we got going on in here. So I want to kind of see what happens with the preacher. In this issue, too, we are introduced to a strange, mysterious character, who I will show you. Look at that guy. So weird looking, right? He's upset at Mr. Pollux, our protagonist, for certain actions and certain things he did to one of the local residents of this planet. So it has like almost like a very like westerny kind of feel to it in a way. And I'm really enjoying it. This is like one of my sleeper hits that I really am enjoying. It's not too late to get in on this, guys, if you haven't already. I mean, it's only been about 4 issues. It just has a great look. The coloring is great. I like Mr. Klein's work. Stuff really just kind of pops out and unique. It's got kind of a brighter color palette, I'd say, in places. And I'm really enjoying it. I recommend it. That's definitely a highly recommended title. As is The Autumn Lands, Tooth and Claw, number 4. And there's a ton of stuff going on in this issue. Tons of things going on in this issue. This is another anthropomorphic issue. I'm going to get over my anthropomorphic withdrawal because The Wild's End from Boom Comics ended last month. That was a limited run series that I really liked and enjoyed, and it's over. So this is gonna take the place here. On the cover here is a terrier, anthropomorphic being. It's Dunstan. He's a young guy. He's a young chap. He befriends the great champion, who we learn maybe isn't so great and mythical after all. He may just be a kind of a cog in the machine on another planet somewhere. Not really a god. Anyway, this is kind of like a touching issue because Mr. Terrier, Dunstan, and the great champion, who we learn in this issue doesn't really want to be called the great champion. Kind of makes him a little uncomfortable. They kind of bond together, and they kind of go on a mission together. Sip wine and cheese in the park. Kind of go down each other's No, I'm just kidding. But they kind of bond together. And I thought that was very touching because in the first issue of this series, Mr. Terry, or the Dunstan, he loses his father. You know, there's these wizards, okay, in this world. And they were trying to resurrect the great champion because they needed to restore magic in their community, in their world. Magic is a big thing. There's been a major deficit of it. So all these wizards get together, but they're amateurs. They didn't really know what the heck they were doing. Things go wrong with the casting spells. Whole freaking city, which was like an elevated city, collapses. And major, major catastrophes. And, you know, people died. Anthropomorphic animals died. And people were forever impacted. Now, there's some great villains in here as well. There's we learn in here that there's another wizard who's an owl named Sansuit. He's teaming up with this female trader, a fox, Lady Goodfoot, and the bison tribe leader, Seven Scars. He's this cool, big-looking bison dude who has 7 scars swiped across his forehead, which we still haven't learned how he got those scars. There's Madam Goodfoot. There's Hootie the Wizard. Well, anyway, these guys are kind of forming a faction to try to maneuver into power. You know, basically the wizards are kind of scrambling around and trying to figure out who's going to lead the city now after all this chaos. So it's just cool. It's just a very fleshed out world. It's very, has a lot of different characters and character classes. So it's very interesting. It's like a huge world that Kurt Busiek, the writer, has constructed. And Benjamin Dewey and Jordi Belair, the colorist, I mean, they've done an excellent, excellent job. I mean, every issue you're kind of getting introduced to new characters. Here's a cool bat creature that the Great Champion dispatches, which is really, really cool. And he's kind of a badass, man. And he's kind of like a working class dude. You know, he swears a lot. He's not very elegant. He's kind of like me, I guess. I don't know. All right, here's a new comic, a new miniseries from Boom Comics. It's called Plunder, okay? First thing you're going to notice when you pick this up off the rack, the cover is very, very, like, thick. Hear that? I'm going to make one of those ASMR videos where they whisper and chill. You guys know what I'm talking about? Those videos that help people calm down. I've been watching those videos lately. They are... It's weird. It's weird. Anyway. Somali pirates, okay? This is a story about Somali pirates. Opening scene, they get in a conflict with a Chinese vessel, I think filled with immigrants or something. There's some sort of illegal activity going on. It's kind of weird, wacky. It's like deranged. Like, who do you think would win, man? Somali pirates versus illegal Chinese immigrants, you know? Ewoks versus Jawas, you know? Who do you think would win, man? Anyway, that's how the tagline, the selling line in this was broadcast out at. I was cracking up when I read it, but I read that and I was like, shit, I'm kind of interested in this. Anyway, these Somali pirates, they then find like an abandoned ship, okay? Which they think is a research vessel. They board this ship. Okay, here they are. There they are in their like little dinghy craft, right? They board this ship and something is not right, okay? There's all kinds of fucked up freakness. And some of these guys look really messed up too. They're like battle hardened. Like severely scarred. Like look at that guy's face. He looked like he was burned. The one guy's all scarred up. The other guy's burned. Like half his face is burned off. They board this ship, okay? And things are not right, okay? Here you go. Check out the door. See that arm on there? Ripped off. It gets better. They go farther down into the ship. The farther down they go, the more mutilated the corpses get, people. And the interesting thing is, I'm leafing through this. They think it's basically the work of other pirates. They just think that another pirate ship came before them. So they're not even really that fazed by it. And as the issue progresses, they go deeper and deeper into the, body of this ship. Whoa, that's a really good one. I'm not going to spoil that one, but it's a full page. This is a full page doozy. Yummy. But the further they go down, the weirder and weirder it gets. So it's kind of like, I don't know, it's reminding me of like maybe John Carpenter's The Thing or something. That movie where the scientists are up in Antarctica and the weird creatures start coming out and murdering and pillaging. And I don't know, it's really interesting. It's only 4 issues. It has the writer has the best name ever, Swifty Lang, who I have no idea who he is, if anyone knows anything else that he wrote. Swifty Lang and Scuds McKinley are the artists. Very, very subdued color palette. But that's from Boom. Another title from Boom, number 2 of an 8-issue miniseries, Burning Fields. This is a really good book, man. I read the first book actually last night, okay? I was a little behind on my pulls, and I knew that this was coming out today. So I decided to read it. It was on the Keep or Sleep just last night. I'm going with keeping it. We're not going to put it to sleep. This is great. This is like another kind of murder mystery. You have this woman, her name is Dana. She's an ex-Army investigator. Her drill sergeant, or a sergeant in her unit or something, comes and visits her. I think she lives in Chicago now. Tells her, we need you. We have a mission. We need your expertise. She's apparently like a crack wizard, man. Wizard, holy shit. Detective. She's got the right stuff. Think of Rambo when Troutman came and visited Rambo in the beginning of Rambo 2, and told him that we need John. We need you on this one. America needs you. Something like that. She's not really buying it. She's not really into it. The dialogue is really cool. It's got some good, snappy dialogue. She's very snarky. She's jaded. She's pissed off because she lost her job. Long story short, he convinces her because she has the potential to get the man who ended her career. I guess there's this guy who's head of a private security force that somehow fucked her over or something, and now she may have a chance to kind of get some revenge on him. Apparently there's been a bunch of murders in an oil field, and the strange thing is that they think that it's maybe an American who's doing this, because only an American, I guess, could somehow gain access to this oil field, or so they think. Now, it gets a little stranger. There are some bizarre ritualistic elements to these murders. So, you're wondering, is this some kind of cult? Is this some kind of supernatural force? We don't really know. But the issue is being billed as like a horror thriller type comic. And right in the opening issue here, you got a guy looking and praying to a bunch of different body parts, There's an eye, there's an ear, there's someone giving the sign of the devil sign. I mean, there's all kinds of weird stuff in here. There's also another element that's kind of cool in here. There's an Iraqi detective, because this takes place in Iraq. A detective Facade. Now, I hope I pronounce his name right. It's F-A-S-A-D, Facade. And, when you have a name like that, you got to wonder, it kind of sets off some red flags. Like, well, what's going to be up with this guy? Is there going to be some kind of twist? But he seems like a real stand-up dude. And him and Dana kind of pair up together, and they're on the case together. Because, the Iraqi authorities, too, want to know what's going on. They caught wind of this. So they're kind of working together. So it's kind of like a strange pairing, like the Predator Fire and Stone segment of the Predator, of the big alien crossover event that I've talked about since I did every comic book haul, and I'm still talking about it. But anyway, check this out, man. This is an underrated book. The art is really dark. Very, very dark color palettes. Very serious tone. Lots of good, snappy dialogue. And it's kind of talking about, you know, real current events. You know, like uncomfortable stuff, too. Like what really does go on in the Middle East with all these private security firms. You know, like if you remember Blackwater when they were in the news. Stuff that maybe our military is up to. It kind of shows, as you see on the front, this is an Iraqi boy getting ready to throw a stone. In the first issue, there was a really tense moment where an Iraqi boy, I don't know if it's the same one, was pissed off at the security forces being in their town, and it kind of shows all the people in the town gathered together screaming at the security force, and you know, obviously in Iraqi, you know, get out of our town, you don't belong here, blah blah blah. And you know, I can't imagine what that would be like if you're living somewhere and you get invaded by a military force, an outside military force. It's got to be crazy. I can't imagine what that would be like. All right, on to the team that did Rumble. You got Arcudi, Heron, and Stewart again doing b.p.r.d. number 128. And this looks like another action-packed issue full of monsters, full of creatures. I mean, these guys, every issue, there's always some kind of big, luxurious-looking creature that they have to dispatch and they have to take care of. I'll give you that there. Lots of monsters. I didn't do my homework yet on what's going on in this issue, so I can't really tell you. What I do know is that there's this strange Russian woman, okay, who's in like a glass jar, kind of. But that's got to be the theme of the week this week in my comics. She must be torturing this fellow whose head is encased in glass. And they have some really tense showdown, because I did read this part. And she basically tells him, you know what? I could fuck you up. So you really want me on your side. Now, I've never seen this woman. She's new. I don't know who she is. But I'm real curious. If you really want a cool comic that has cool characters, get b.p.r.d, man. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. If you like Rumble, if you like the team that is doing Rumble, and I know that lots of people out there are getting into Rumble, you will like this book. Trust me. Trust me. All right, now another great value. This is probably the best value of the week, I think. For $5, you get Dark Horse Presents number 7, but it's the 200th issue. I guess Dark Horse Presents has been coming out for like 30 years. 30 years this book has been coming out, I guess, periodically. And the reason why I got it is because there's a Hellboy story in here, a short one. It's actually the Coffin Man 2, which is one of the more famous Hellboy stories. It's Coffin Man 2, The Rematch. And classic-looking Mike Mignola, but I don't think he actually is the artist. But there's Hellboy walking into an abandoned bar, it looks like. And this takes place in 1956. So I can't wait to see who takes it in this rematch in the Coffin Man 2. I'll give you a sneak. There's a little sneak peek of the showdown. Coffin Man. And also in here is Gru the Wanderer. Now that's a book that I haven't read since I was a little kid. So I thought maybe I'll take a look at that again. See what's up with that. I think it kind of looks like it's from 2013, story from 2013. It's called The Kids Who Would Be Kings. Gru the Wanderer is kind of like this oafish-looking barbarian. Sergio Agrones, he's done work for Mad Magazine for years. Whoa, sorry, guys. But in total, you get 10 stories in here. There are 10 short stories in here from a slew of different artists. And it's 80 pages. I guess ordinarily when this comes out, it's only 48 pages. This one you get 80. I guess because... Oh my lord, man. Whew, I apologize. Because I guess it's a special issue, man. So check it out. $5, value. And that's what I'm really loving about Dark Horse lately. You know, talk about value. You can get the b.p.r.d. omnibuses. You get this for $20. It's 400 pages. Best deal I've seen out there. If you order it online, you can get it for like 15. So if you really are curious about b.p.r.d., I would start with b.p.r.d. Plague of Frogs #1. First major story arc in this series. Unbelievable. Unbelievable book. So check it out. Alright, and finally, folks, we get to one that I really stuck it out with. This is Terminal Hero, written by Peter Mulligan, artwork by Peter Kowalski. He's done some work for the Stephen King Dark Tower series. He's also done some work with Boom Comics' Nightbreed, which I've been disappointed with. Been very disappointed with that series. I always liked Peter Kowalski's look, man. He has a very menacing, uniquely looking art style. He always loves to throw in nudity. There's some sort of weird Indian god. This was a real challenging book. Oh, and it's a Jay Lee cover, too. Jay Lee did the covers for this whole series, which I love Jay Lee. Very challenging series. Main character has cancer. This secret treatment came out, experimental treatment called Treatment Q. He decides, you know, well, I'm going to die. I need to try something. I want to save my life. He takes this experimental medicine, and it creates some really nasty side effects and gives him some powers, but also at a great cost. Problem is, this whole book, I felt like I did not feel 1 ounce of sympathy for any of the characters in this book. They were all like dicks. They were really like assholes. It wasn't like funny assholes. Like, you know, if you ever watch Curb Your Own Enthusiasm or Curb Your Enthusiasm, like, he's an asshole in that book, Larry David, or in that show. But you kind of like him, you know? This guy was just a dick. The main character in this was just awful. He just was not a cool character. I mean, I still like the art, but he was not a very endearing character, and they put a lot of things in here that were really for shock value, I thought. A lot of the things in here were very disturbing. If you watch previous comic book hauls, I talk about it. Like, you know, there's like stuff with self-mutilation in here. They show kind of graphic gay sex in here. They show all kinds of stuff, man. There's references to him, the main character, like molesting his sister and stuff, and like, I don't know. I made it like at issue number 4, it was on keep or sleep status for me, and I don't know why I decided, like, I almost rationalized, well, geez, there's only 2 more issues left. I kind of want to see what happens, but not really. And then I just begrudgingly decided to buy the last 2 issues. So I don't know why I did that. Do you guys ever get in a situation like that? Maybe that's our topic of the week here as we end. Have you ever read a series that maybe you knew was in a limited run, you didn't really like it, but you really tried to stick with it to the bitter end, and you regret you did? I don't know. Maybe I'll read this final issue. He's battling cancer. They refer to his cancer as the tumor kid. And probably the tumor kid makes an appearance in here, I bet. He has to. Yeah, there he is. He looks like a lump of shit. See him? Not the guy that's holding his head, but the guy getting his head held. Maybe they could pull out a miracle. I don't know. But honestly, I probably should have put it to sleep at issue 4, because I just really, made me want to puke. So let me know if you ever had that experience, alright, dudes? Alright, we got to pick cover of the week. and then we're out of here. So let's see here. Jesus Christ. This is hard, man. I don't know. I don't know if I really liked the covers I got this week. Were not really that great to write home about, people. I don't know, man. Ay. I'm going with the Quinster. I think you guys knew that was coming. Quinn on the red carpet in a mini Batmobile. And all the haters looking on. Cover of the week, Harley Quinn. I love you, baby. Honorable mention, Rumble, number 3. Scarecrow stuck in the dirt with a lovely little monarch butterfly on top. Alright, guys, it's been Philly Kuts. You still have a chance to name that haul, but double A, it's looking good, so I hope you're watching this week. I'll announce next week what's up with that, alright? Alright, guys, enjoy your comics this week. Peace.